and we will go ahead and begin. So my name is Barbara, and as everybody knows, I would like to welcome everyone to the Essential Oils Made Easy class. This class is going to be very simple, very straightforward, as it ought to be. And I just want to make mention that I'm going to be giving away 2 items at the end of this class, and I want to go ahead and hold them up. It's going to be a bottle of wild orange, all right? And I'm also going to give away a doTERRA. It's obviously it's backwards. This is a beautiful doTERRA purple keychain, and when you open it up, it has all of the sample bottles, and it also has reducer caps, and both of these are going to be given away. So just for everybody to keep that in mind. And if you have any questions as well, you're more than welcome to put them in the chat, or you can hold them until and like I say, everybody welcome. And if there is background noise, I'm going to ask that whoever has background noise, mute yourself. Otherwise, what I will have to do is just go ahead and mute everybody, just because I'm one of those types of people that I have a hard time concentrating when there's background noise. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. But anyway, like I say, I want to welcome everybody to the class. The topic of tonight's class is Essential Oils Made Easy. It's a very simple class, a very easy class, but also a very fun class. So, as always, the first slide is always the one that wants to be patient here 1 second. Okay, here we go. All right, the goal of this class, 3 goals. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the cool things about oils. I want to talk about 3 ways that you use oils, and I want to talk about how you can best get these oils in your home. For those of you who have them in your home, I would like to talk about how that we would continue not only getting them in our home, but then also being able to get oils for free. All right, so very, very fun and interesting topics. So 3 cool things about essential oils. Many of you that's on this call has heard these things, but I know for myself, I need to hear the same thing a number of times before I really understand the concept behind it, all right? So we wanted to talk about just how safe essential oils are. 100% natural, all right? So we're not running into all the side effects and the addictions, whether it be pain medication or you know, side effects from some of the antibiotics or some of the other medications that we might be prescribed from our doctors. We don't have those side effects with essential oils. They're just extracts from plants, and these plants have got amazing benefits, all right? So also, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more at the end of class, how that they are certified pure therapeutic grade, all right? So that's what makes doTERRA superior from all the rest of the oils. And we're going to talk about that briefly at the very end of class. Also, just briefly want to touch on just how effective they are because of the fact that they are lipid-based. Very important to understand that lipid-based chemicals, substances, and in this case it would be an oil because oils are lipids. Because of that, they're actually able to very effectively penetrate the cell membrane. And the reason why is because the cell membrane is also lipid-based. If we ever wonder that marvelous word that you know, it used to be like a bad word, cholesterol. Well, guess what? You have cholesterol embedded within each and every cell membrane. Cholesterol is extremely important in our bodies. Of course, too much of it, and you can have, you know, atherosclerosis, arteriosclerosis, we can have hardenings and blockages and different things like that. But cholesterol within healthy limits is extremely beneficial. All right, and it's because of that, it's because of those lipids that allows, and it actually welcomes the oils into the cell to do their marvelous work. And that's where the oils do their work mostly, is going to be in intracellular, all right? So anyway, also they're very affordable, all right? One thing to realize and to understand is that with each of these oils, just a couple drops will do. You don't want to take too much. You'll just be wasting it, all right? And who wants to waste things, right? 1 to 3 drops is usually all that you need for whatever it is that you're doing, unless, of course, you're diffusing. The average diffuser, probably 5 to 6 drops, whether you're using one oil or a mixture of oils. And I know I love doing diffuser blends. And if anybody wants some good diffuser blends, text me after the class and I could give you some good blends. But literally the oils are pennies per dose, all right? And that's actually a subject that might be an interesting topic that we could go into in another class. Alrighty, the 3 ways to use the essential oils. First, of course, is aromatic. That's where you open up your bottle and you take a whiff. You can put a drop on your in the palm of your hand, or if your hands together, and breathe it in deeply, and it will give you the benefits very, very quickly. Another way is topically, which is a way that I actually I've grown to like even more. I was having some just some issues with my neck, and I talked about that last week, and it just, my whole neck was kind of hurting, and so rubbing some peppermint with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, and it literally just helped to loosen and relieve some of the achy, painful feeling that I was getting within my muscles. So topical application is very, very good. They quickly penetrate into the skin. One of the things to be very, very careful for is you don't want these around or in your eyes. I'm sorry, you don't want them in your nose. You don't want them in your ears or any of the sensitive or mucous membrane areas, all right? And then the third way to use the oils, of course, is internally. And we welcome and actually encourage folks to use them internally. And why? Why is that? Why would we encourage people to use our oils internally? When you literally see oil companies, you know, just having warnings on the side of the bottles, telling people don't use this internally. I don't understand. If you've got a bottle of wild orange, just so happens I have one right here. This is the one that I'm going to be giving away this evening. If you have a bottle of wild orange, it's just an understood thing that you would be able to open up the bottle and put a drop or 2 on your tongue. With doTERRA oils, you can do it. And with any oil, doTERRA or not, you always read the side label, because there are some of doTERRA's oils that should not be taken internally, all right? And not for any other reason other than it is not an oil to be taken internally, okay? Nothing to do with, you know, any of the synthetics that are put in there in some of these other oil companies. But on the side of the bottle, it will literally say supplement facts. And that's the same thing that they put on in your food, or on your food, the packaging of the food, supplement facts. So whenever you see that, that is your indicator that this is something that can actually be taken internally. all right? So that's where, again, doTERRA stands superior in the essential oil business. All righty, hang on one second here, okay. All right, so I wanted to talk just a little bit. I absolutely love these slides and I love to show them off as much as I possibly can, but I did want to talk about just a couple of the most popular oils, and then I wanted to throw in a couple of oils that people might not know about, okay? I've been having people request that over and over again on these classes that we do, that they want to hear about some different oils. All right, so we're going to talk about a couple different oils tonight, but I did want to go through some of the basic oils and, of course, their key benefits. All right, so first of all, we've got lemon. All right, and this, of course, is from the peel, from the rind. It's cold press expressed. That's the extraction method, and you can find with each of the oils is there's many different extraction methods, and for some that's very interesting. You know, that's actually how they extract the oils out of the fruit. When you think you have a barrel of lemons, you know, and it might make 1 or 2 bottles of, you know, of this lemon oil, but you think how does it come out? And there's plenty of things that actually can be said about that. You can actually Google things like that, and you can actually watch the process. It's a very interesting to watch. All right, so some of the key benefits: cleaning and purifying. All right, it's a beautiful, beautiful smell. To me, I would much rather be smelling lemon in the air than Pine Sol or Lysol or those types of things. All right, and the thing about lemon is when taken internally, it literally cleanses. All right, it's a detox. It helps to digest. I call it a roto-rooter for your insides. I constantly am drinking lemon all day long, all day long. Also, lemon helps support healthy respiratory function, which in these days you hear so much about respiratory issues. All right, paired with melaleuca or tea tree, same thing. Paired with tea tree, a couple drops in your hand with a couple drops of melaleuca, rub it together. You might want to put a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, just a little bit. Rub your hands together, rub it on your neck and on your chest. That's what I was doing last week when I had a swollen gland here and it was hurting. And so I just continued to apply it during the day, peppermint for the pain, and you know, it takes care of the problem. Swollen glands, by the way, are an indicator. They are an indicator that something is going on in your body. All right, you might not know. There's plenty of times where our glands might be a little swollen. We might not even know it. All right, but it's a clear indicator that something is happening in your body. It's part of your lymphatic system. Anyway, also lemon diffused is an absolutely wonderful smell, and it puts everybody in a good mood, everybody that it would touch. You put a drop of lemon, you put a drop of peppermint in your hands, not only will you be in a good mood, but you'll also be very wide awake, all right? And then we have lavender. Lavender is kind of the opposite in the sense that it soothes and it relaxes more so than invigorates, like with the lavender, or I'm sorry, than with the lemon. So it helps to ease the feelings of tension. It's very, very good for any kind of skin issues. Bug bites, cuts, scratches, those types of things, eczema. You could put a few drops of lavender on the pillows, in the bedding, the bottom of your feet. If you have a fussy baby, diffusing it in the room. Be very, very careful though. If you put lavender straight on a baby's skin, you do want to dilute it with fractionated coconut oil. And I can tell you that from experience. So it's powerful, and baby skin is also very, very delicate. So if you're going to apply it to a baby's skin, you do want to dilute it with some fractionated coconut oil. Putting it in a bath for, to take away the stress, and just something that we all would love to do. All right, and then we've got peppermint. Like I was just saying, it's very, very good for respiratory, breathing issues. People use it for headaches. It's very good for any kind of indigestion, gastrointestinal problems, bloating, gas, just anything that goes on in your GI tract. Taking peppermint internally, as well as rubbing it on your abdomen near the area that is being affected, is very, very effective. All right, you can also diffuse it. You're going on a long road trip, you take your peppermint, keep it right there by you in the car. If you feel a little drowsy, you open that bottle up and you take some whiffs and on you go. All right, it opens you up, it wakes you up, it gives you clarity, it gives you focus. Very, very good for people who are taking tests, all right, which I'm going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. All right, frankincense is perhaps one of my favorite oils. And for anybody that has an interest in learning about how frankincense is harvested, you will be amazed. Google frankincense harvesting doTERRA. Just those 3 keywords that I just said: frankincense, harvesting, doTERRA. And some of the videos that you see will just amaze you. The harvesting of frankincense is perhaps, to me, one of the most labor intensive, but yet so very interesting. All right. So just take a look at that. But some of the key benefits: it supports healthy cellular function. Now, understanding that everything in our body goes down to the cellular processes, right? The way one cell interacts with another, right? The way that cells interact with pathogens or viruses or bacterias or fungus or yeast that enters into our body. Everything happens at a cellular level. And frankincense actually is able to support the healthy cellular function, keeping our cells healthy. All right, very good for massaging, very, very good for your skin. All right, it's good. Some people use it for headaches, for migraines, for depression. There's many studies that are actually being done with frankincense in the area of cancer, and these are some things that we can actually we can show some of the studies on this. But it's an absolutely amazing essential oil. All right, we've got Breathe, which is also called the respiratory blend. There have been people that have put a few drops of Breathe in their CPAP machines and absolutely love it. Breathe is an oil that if you were to put a drop on your hands and rub it together and take a deep breath in through your nose and even in your mouth, if you would like, inhale it into your nose and into your mouth, you will be amazed at how well this will open you up. I know it's not cold season right now, but when cold season does come, Breathe is an unbelievably wonderful oil to help to loosen all of the congestion. It's very good for sleep. You put it in your diffuser at night and it gives you a good restful sleep. Very good for babies as well when they're fussy. At different times of the year when maybe their nose might be stuffy and things like that. An excellent oil, very calming as well. All right, DigestZen is a lot of people's favorites right here. You can add this to just a little bit of water in a cup and you drink it when you're having maybe gas or bloating. It acts very similar to peppermint, but it has more of the benefits, that peppermint would have. And it does have peppermint in it as well. But it's very, very good for anything digestive, hence the term, the name DigestZen. All right, I wanted to add just a couple of interesting oils. How many people out there have heard of thyme? How many people out there have used thyme? All right, now look at some of these key benefits. All right, provides cleansing and purifying effects for the skin. we understand the skin is our largest organ and is subject to the greatest amount of environmental threats. The organ called the skin literally protects anything from entering in. And look at this, it purifies our skin. Now, isn't that pretty interesting? It's very, very good for immune function. That's when you would take it internally. It's very, very good for alertness if you diffuse it or open up the bottle and just take a nice good whiff. And here's a real interesting thing. As a matter of fact, as I was putting this together, I was actually, dealing with, because I like to work outside a lot. And, well, while you're working outside, guess what? You're vulnerable to whatever little buggies are going on out there, right? Thyme is a wonderful oil to repel insects. And the nice thing about it is it does it naturally. You don't have to worry about the poisons that they put in these bug sprays that you don't even want to smell. It's just absolutely terrible. Sure, we're repelling the bugs, but we're also killing ourselves in the process. And here's another one. I wanted to add this one because it goes hand in hand with the thyme. This is an outdoor blend, and it is something that can be used safely for everybody in the family. All right, and this smells wonderful. As a matter of fact, last week I was doing this class from Joyce and Lou's back porch, and I was literally getting attacked by mosquitoes. And they brought this oil out to me, and not only does it work, but it also smells wonderful. Unlike these, these poisonous bug sprays that we get from the store. And the ingredients on this is absolutely wonderful. Ylang ylang is the top ingredient, ylang ylang flower, and that is probably one of my favorite smells in the world. It's a flower from Madagascar, and if you get a chance to smell ylang ylang, please don't pass it up, because it quite possibly will become your favorite as well. Also, nootka wood, cedar wood, catnip. Now that's pretty interesting, catnip. Lemon eucalyptus, Litsea fruit, arbor vitae, which is also called the tree of life. Called the tree of life for a reason, because of the essential oils that it actually has within it is actually the reason that it lives so long. All right, these essential oils repel the bugs, and the bugs oftentimes are the things that help the trees shorten their lifespan. All right, they bore into the trees and they do a lot of damage. So anyway, so the arbor vitae is in the TerraShield, and then vanilla bean in a base of fractionated coconut oil and tamanu seed oil. This is a wonderful blend, especially for this time of the year. All right, before I take a short break, and I'm going to invite my good friend Francis to speak for just a moment. But before I do that, I just want to very quickly touch on the lifelong vitality, all right, otherwise known as LLV. All right, I love saying LLVs. I take LLVs daily. I give LLVs out. I try to get everybody that I know to take this product because it is awesome. All right. I can tell you so many wonderful benefits. There are so many testimonials on this product. You literally have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee to take this product. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. All right. Maximum nutrition, energy, focus, relief, well-being. All right. They're whole food, multivitamin and minerals, antioxidants, cellular energy. It's got your omega-3s, your omega-6s, your omega-9s, your fatty acids, and 9 essential oils. And all of these things down at the bottom here is actually what they provide. And this is only some of the benefits. All right. antioxidant and DNA protection. Now, as I was studying, you know, the DNA in cells in my anatomy and physiology class, one of the things with DNA is that is where everything begins in your body. You are who you are because of your DNA. We need to protect that. We need to protect it. Eye, brain, nervous system, liver function, digestive health. You get more energy and less pain, less discomfort. Who doesn't want that? It provides a strong immune system, stress management, cardiovascular health, healthy inflammatory response. Most people today are walking around with inflammation in their bodies. Inflammation equals pain. There's good inflammation and there's bad inflammation. And the inflammation that I'm talking about is bad inflammation. We don't want to walk around in pain all of the time. There are times where we are going to be in pain. We break our arm, we cut our fingers, whatever, it's painful, we heal. But when you're walking around day after day, month after month, year after year in pain, it's time to figure out why. Because our bodies were not meant to be in pain day after day. All right, so this product I cannot say enough about, and I just so much believe in it that I certainly would hope that everybody would take the opportunity to try this. Give it a 30-day try. If you don't like it, return it. Get your money back. All right. All right, Francis, I'm going to give this over to you, and there you go.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about the thyroid and just thyroid health a little bit, because this is something that I personally deal with, and just hearing about, you know, the other health issues that a lot of other, you know, people around me, friends, family deal with, that, you know, just how it's linked to the thyroid, or it can be linked to the thyroid, but, you know, just understanding it and how to kind of help ourselves, you know, take care of some of the issues that we deal with. So the thyroid, you know, from the picture that you can see, that it's a little butterfly-shaped gland in the front of the neck, directly over the trachea, and it produces hormones which affect nearly every organ in our body. One of the things that we hear about the thyroid is, you know, that it affects our metabolism. You know, that's probably one of the best known thing about it. So a lot of times, you know, if we have unexplained weight gain or weight loss, you know, it can be attributed to a malfunctioning thyroid. You know, there's two different issues that can come up with the thyroid. You can have hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. Now, hypothyroidism is, you know, where the thyroid it's not producing enough of the hormones needed for the body to function correctly. And whereas hyper, it is producing too much of those hormones, you know, so either one of them, you know, makes it where it's an imbalance with the hormones in the body. And so we can't, you know, do what we need to do. The body just doesn't function the way that it's supposed to. So, I was looking at, you know, thinking of some of the symptoms that we might deal with hypo or hyperthyroidism. And, you know, some of those symptoms actually overlap each other. One of the things that I deal with, or I dealt with, was a goiter, which is an enlarged thyroid. And I probably had it for a long time and didn't realize it. You know, I just remember my dental hygienist mentioning that I needed to have my thyroid looked at, and I didn't think about it. You know, I didn't follow through and try to go get it looked at until later on, that one of my main doctors actually, you know, said that I needed to actually have somebody have an ultrasound done on it. And what I had was a goiter. There's also, you know, some of the other symptoms that you have is hair loss or thinning of hair. It can cause dryness of the skin. It can cause dry, brittle nails. these symptoms with the hair issue and the nails and stuff issues, symptoms that I now deal with since I've had surgery on my thyroid. Because of the goiter, they had to go in and remove half of my thyroid. So in removing half of it, I don't have the levels of the hormones as I should. So that, that's some of the issues that I deal with. My hair is thinner than it used to be. It's, to me, it feels drier. It takes me a whole lot more, work to get it to feel the way that I think it should be feeling. But, that's some of the things that, the malfunctioning of the thyroid can lead to. It can also lead to cardiovascular issues because you can have reduced heart rate where your heart is just not beating up to the speed that it should be. Or it can have where it can be where you have heart palpitations where it's beating way faster than it's supposed to be. Barbara mentioned cholesterol a few minutes ago. The malfunctioning thyroid can all lead to high cholesterol. Like Barbara said, we are supposed to have cholesterol in our body. It's needed, but you're supposed to have a balanced level of it because there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So you're supposed to have a balanced level, where the one that's not necessarily the healthiest is not supposed to be too high. But when your thyroid function is off, you can have where that one that's not the good one is too high. It can also lead to high blood pressure. And that's because of with hyperthyroidism, where the heart is beating way faster than it's supposed to, it puts a whole lot more pressure on the arteries and the blood vessels that can give you, that, which is what high blood pressure is. The constricting of the blood vessels is working harder to push the blood through. And it's just causing a havoc in there. You can have cold sensitivity or heat intolerance. My mom actually has been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. One of the things when we talk on the phone is she's always mentioning how hot she is, and mind you, she lives in the islands. It's warm there, but it's not unbearably warm. We're surrounded by water. There's always a breeze blowing. She's like 7 minutes from the beach, so it's not like, it's like excruciatingly hot. It's not. But what she deals with is, this heat, and sometimes you can confuse, or, I've known ones, who say that it's, menopausal symptoms, you're having a hot flash. Or this is where getting ourselves checked and making sure, getting tested, getting some tests, blood work, lab work done or whatever, to make sure that it's not the thyroid that's malfunctioning. Because sometimes some of the symptoms can mirror one another. And so you can brush it off and not, go further with maybe trying to take care of it. So, my mom saying that, that she's always hot. She wakes up in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 times. Her shirt is just drenched because she's sweating so much. That is a symptom of her hyperthyroidism. Now, on the other hand, I have a sensitivity to the cold. And, I'm always, for the most part, I'm always cold. I walk around in my car. I have probably 2 or 3 sweaters or jackets or something like that. I have at my desk at work. The chair that I'm sitting on right now has a very heavy sweater and then a thin little top that I can throw over me if I get chilly, because it's something that I deal with. But again, making sure that, I'm not just cold because the AC is high, but, knowing what's going on with my body, I can tell, sometimes it's not anything to do with the AC, it's something else that's acting up, if you will. I do have an underlying health issue that leads to me being cold sometimes. I have Raynaud syndrome, and it made for very difficult, challenging winters in Alaska for me, as Barbara knows. But, besides that, my thyroid not functioning the way that it needs to because I don't have both lobes of my thyroid, doesn't help the situation. It can also, the thyroid not functioning can also lead to mood disorders. So it can cause, where your mood, your mood is low, depression. You can be anxious. There can be nervousness, mood swings. And see, all of those, especially in women, can be construed as something having to do with something else. Like it can all, they can say, someone can say, well, it's because, if you're menopausal, that this is because of menopause, that you're dealing with mood swings, you know, and not look any further to see if it is indeed menopause or is there something else going on. So that's why, you know, I can't stress enough about getting the thyroid checked, you know, making sure that you get it checked. I know when I went to my doctor and I told her about some of the issues that I was seeing with my hair, what she said is, well, you know, now that you've hit 40, you know, you're in your 40s, there are going to be changes, you know, and that's one of the things that you're going to see, you know, is maybe your hair is changing, you know, just the thickness of it. And I kind of called her on it. I'm like, that's rubbish, because just because I'm 40 doesn't mean that my hair starts to thin out this way or that I'm shedding as much as I am, because what I started seeing was a lot of hair shedding when I would wash it. And so I had to push a little bit harder to make her dig a little bit harder. I had to do my own research and try to figure out what was going on with me. And, you know, sometimes we have to advocate for ourselves and look for ourselves so that we can, when we go to the doctor and we present to them what's going on, we have some information that we can say, this is what's going on, you know, look at this. And so that's what I did with her. And we figured out that I have some deficiencies in some minerals and vitamins because I don't have a full working thyroid. I am very deficient in vitamin D, extremely deficient, to the point that over-the-counter supplements wouldn't help me. So she had to prescribe actual, like a higher dose, a very dose of it. I'm deficient in iodine. Again, iodine and the thyroids go hand in hand. I'm deficient in zinc. And again, you know, it goes hand in hand. So then for me, I don't want to have to be taking a whole lot of different kinds of, you know, chemically filled medication. And so I'm working on these things, one with my diet, you know, putting foods in my diet that are rich in iodine, you know. Most of the iodine-rich foods that we have out there, you know, what I think what most people think of as your salt, you know, it has iodine included in it. But there are other foods that you can actually ingest that would help. You know, it's a lot of seafood or food from, you know, marine foods, if you want to call them that, like kelp and seaweed, you know, things like that, you know, that are rich in iodine. And then, you know, for zinc, eggs, nuts like Brazil nuts, mushrooms, oysters, you know, those things are rich in zinc. So, you know, looking for yourselves and trying to figure out for yourself sometimes and doing a bit of research, you know, for yourself, and not just going on what someone might tell you, even if it's the doctor, you know, they don't know everything. Sometimes we educate them, you know. But anyways, the other symptoms that I wanted to talk about was the joint and muscle pain, and then muscle weakness that also shows up when there is some issues with the thyroid. A lot of times, you know, we can say maybe I have arthritis, you know, that's why my joints hurt, you know, and not look further to see if there is something else. You might have arthritis. You very well might have arthritis, but it may not be arthritis. It might be something else also. So again, just going in there and looking. In looking at what I could use to help my thyroid, you know, I learned about, of course, the oils, you know, and I've been doing the oils for a while, and I'm always learning more and more about different oils. You know, I might have an oil and be using it for one particular thing, and then learn that I can use it for this also. So learning that, you know, there are a number of oils that have anti-inflammatory properties, like Barbara was just mentioning, you know, because a lot of the illnesses that we deal with are because of, you know, inflammation. Growing up, I used to hear my mom talking about inflammation all the time. I mean, it was and I you know, I couldn't never really understand what she was talking about. I do now, you know, just, you know, it causes such havoc on our system. But there are oils that are anti-inflammatory. That's the properties that they have in them. And some of those oils are lemongrass, myrrh, frankincense. Barbara just talked about frankincense. You know, frankincense is such a, wow, it is such a great oil. You know, it's such a good oil. But we can go and we can find things, we can find natural ways to treat some of the health issues that we're having. When I initially started looking at my thyroid, you know, one of the things that they mentioned was synthetic thyroid medication. There's one called Synthroid. I know someone who uses it. I looked at the side effect of Synthroid. It actually causes some of the same issues that the thyroid malfunction causes. You know, it causes hair loss, irritability, nausea, mood swings. You know, and I started listing some of these things, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to add to what I'm already dealing with. I don't want side effects from the medication that I'm taking. You know, I'm trying to fix myself. I'm trying to fix the symptoms that I'm dealing with. I'm not trying to add more stuff to me. So, you know, going to something that I know comes from a plant, that I know it doesn't have any side effects, that I know it is going to just help me. It's not going to hurt me in the long run. It's not going to hurt me to use lemongrass. You know, lemongrass is not only is it a anti-inflammatory oil, it also helps to detox the thyroid. I have half of a thyroid. I have the right lobe only, okay? The left side and the isthmus, which is the middle part that connects the two lobes, that's gone. So I have just the right side. I don't want to put anything in my body that's going to make it not work as good as it should. You know, it's already maybe working harder than it should because that's all that I have left of my thyroid. I don't want to damage it by putting stuff in my system that's going to hurt it. But if I can use something that's going to help it, you know, detox it, remove maybe things that would slow it down even more than what it is already, then that's definitely what I want to do. You know, it's such an easy, you know, thing to be able to just take some oils and be able to just put it on. They say to just, you know, put a couple drops on, you know, you use it topically, put a couple drops on your hand and just rub it over the thyroid area. You know, you can do that. You can mix the, you know, lemongrass with, you know, one of the other oils, because they mentioned peppermint also. You can use the myrrh and the frankincense together, and those oils are always somehow mentioned together because they work so good together. Both of those oils are also anti-inflammatory oils. But I was just thinking that it's just great to know what else is out there, that we don't have to just take an answer from, you know, I mean, I really like my doctor and I trust her for the, you know, I trust her. But I'm also glad that I have a relationship with her where I can talk to her and I can come to her, and she knows when I come in for my yearly visits or any issues that I might be having, I'm going to come prepared. I'm going to come with, you know, I usually have a little notebook with notes or something in it that I'm bringing to her about, you know, if I'm dealing with something, if I have aches and pains, if I have, you know, I'm coming to her, you know, with questions, and I, you know, want her to not brush me off. You know, if she gives me some answers, I'm going to go and look it up and see, you know, how this medication or this thing that she's prescribing to me is going to affect me, and if there's something else that I could be using to help myself. Again, you know, I start with my diet. That's one of the first things that I always try to go to, is my diet, you know, and just changing things and trying to eat more whole foods, less processed food, you know, because it's just better. But at the end, you know, if I can find something that's going to help me and it's going to be natural, it's not going to hurt me. And besides using it for these things, I can use those oils for so many other different things, you know, and that's the bonus part of being able to get our hands on these oils and use these oils, because we can use them in so many different ways in our lives that, you know, just having something natural to treat the illnesses and the different things that, you know, our bodies are going through. It's just, to me, it's just fantastic. You know, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that, because you're not hurting yourself. You're only helping yourself.
Well, Francis, that was unbelievable. That was, I need to give you the whole floor next week. You could teach
No.
the whole class with absolutely no problem. Thank you, Francis. I do appreciate it. And if everybody got to read in the chat, as Francis was talking about the oils for inflammation, I know that she knows about turmeric. You probably just forgot to mention that turmeric also. And the nice thing about the doTERRA turmeric is literally it's called a dual chamber capsule. All right. And it's got the two different forms of turmeric that actually makes it all the more effective. All right. And so, Francis, write that down in your notes. And so, maybe do a little study on on the turmeric and how that the turmeric, whether it's the oil or the capsules or both, could actually be a very, very good way to support your healthy thyroid, as well as to reduce the inflammation in our overall body. All right, I did want to talk just very briefly before we do our giveaway. There are 3 ways to purchase oils. All right, the first way to purchase is retail. Nobody on this call is purchasing retail. Everybody is purchasing wholesale. And most everybody, I believe, is also getting the free points. All right, so if you're not getting free points, if you're not, getting free oils and points for free oils, then definitely let's have a conversation. All right, you can give me a call, you can text me. Let's get together and let's talk. All right. There are some kits, and most everybody on this call has a kit. The Healthy Start, which is an awesome kit. Now, if you actually have this kit yourself, as you talk to other people and as you share with other people, the one thing to know about this particular kit, it's called a Healthy Start. And the reason that they say start is because this is giving you 10 of the foundation oils. In other words, it's what we should all start with. Okay, this should be in everybody's medicine cabinet. Okay, now that doesn't mean that we can't start with other kits, but what I'm saying is that this is like the foundation. Then we have the Healthy Essentials kit. All right, now these are larger bottles, also with the diffuser, but this gives you 3 different oils. One being the Adaptive, which is a line that is some of the reviews on this line is just absolutely incredible. Also gives you the Balance, and it gives you the Copaiba. Copaiba is an unbelievable oil. It's harvested from Brazil, and the Brazilians know of the wonderful benefits of this oil. And then there's the Healthy Habits Kit, which gives you your supplements, your LLVs, as we spoke about, your TerraShield, which are the digestive enzymes that we all need so badly. It gives you the PB Assist, as well as the Deep Blue Rub, which is very quickly becoming one of my favorite items. As a matter of fact, I have it right here on my desk, because this oil I'm sorry, it's not an oil, it's a rub, but it has a whole bottle of Deep Blue in it. All right, but it's absolutely wonderful. If you have arthritis, sore muscles, sore joints, maybe your neck is sore, you have tension. I use it if I have a headache, rub it on my back, rub it on my shoulders. It's just absolutely wonderful to just loosen you up. But this kit also gives you the lavender, gives you the frankincense, gives you the balance, the lemon, as well as the On Guard. This is a wonderful kit as well. And for anybody that signs up, and this could even go for those of you that are on this call that you know somebody that needs these oils. If you're sharing with somebody, let them know that we love to give things away. And don't leave this call, because remember, I'm doing a giveaway, the keychain as well as the oil. We love to give things away. And we're giving away a free bottle of Citrus Bliss for anybody who enrolls with one of those kits that I just showed you. So for anybody who knows anybody, please let them know. Good news is not something that we keep to ourselves. All right, we're going to talk very briefly. Certified pure therapeutic grade is beyond organic. It's verified pure, free of filters, free of pesticides, free of any foreign contaminants. This standard is a standard that doTERRA created. Our co-impact sourcing initiative, I'm not going to go through all of this only because of the time, but just that what doTERRA does is that they literally provide the fair wages. They pay on time, okay? They do things that they would not have had to have done. All right, they support some things that are just unbelievable, and we're going to talk about it here in just a minute. But this particular slide I put together just to kind of talk a little bit about the harvesting of the frankincense. And the way that you harvest is you have to make cuts in these trees, all right? If you cut too deep, you hurt the tree. If you cut too much, you hurt the tree, all right? So co-impact and responsibly harvesting is very, very important to doTERRA. Also, like I was just saying, they responsibly partner with artisans from over 45 different countries. They champion the best seeds, the best soil, the best growing environment. So in other words, you could put a lavender seed in the ground here in Georgia and you might get a little bit of lavender. But if you put a lavender seed in the mountains of France, oh, you're going to get some of the best lavender possible. And so this is what I'm saying. It's the difference between just getting some oil and getting the very best. Because we all understand that the environmental conditions, the humidity levels, the rain amounts, the soil condition and composition all play a factor in what grows out of that soil. So anyway, also sourcing where the plants thrive most. Like I say, there's over 100 essential oils that are sourced from more than 40 nations. All right, that's an awful lot of partnership that doTERRA has all around the world. And in the last year, I thought this was very interesting, and that was why I wanted to include this in this slide. In the last year, doTERRA has helped to support co-impact sourcing communities with providing 279 homes repaired in Haiti. 6 new hospitals and medical clinics. Now, anybody who works in a hospital, I know Francis does, we've all been to hospitals. That is not just an easy feat to go and provide for a hospital. Well, doTERRA has provided these different communities, and this is a co-impact. The oils of these communities provide and impact us, and so doTERRA wants to impact them. That is the co-impact. All right, 9 new schools. That is a big deal. And here, corresponding to the picture that I have, which I thought was just such a beautiful picture of a well. It's in Mozambique. doTERRA has provided 9 clean water projects. Now, that's one thing that we take for granted in America. Clean water. Anytime we want, right? Not everybody has that luxury that we have. doTERRA is a wonderful, wonderful company. This is the joy of doTERRA. And this is the end of my slideshow. And so I am going to stop sharing. And I am also going to stop